Pillars of Eternity 2, Deadfire, Brute build, a combo of Barbarian and a Fighter. We're gonna do a classic two-handed greatsword build that crits like crazy and hits like a truck. A classic bruiser of tank. The build was made to work on Pot of the Damned difficulty, and if it works on the hardest difficulty available, it will work on all other difficulties as well. This is the main Watcher build. Let's not waste time, and let's go. Before we start with the video, I got a new channel about my cats. It's not a gaming channel, but it's a relaxing channel with a lot of gaming music, so you can chill out while doing something else. So, if you have a daughter, mother, sister, even your mother-in-law, recommend them the channel. They're also gonna like it, as well as if you have cats. It will be something like a cat TV as well. Your cats will have fun too. Thanks up front for subscribing on the new channel. Let's go to the video. Let's do the character creation now. We're gonna pick Orlan, believe it or not, and we're gonna pick Heart Orlan, so we convert hits to crits. It's very important. We're gonna pick a multiclass, we're gonna take Barbarian, and we're picking a no subclass Barbarian. For the Barbarian abilities, we're gonna pick Frenzy. For the second class, we're gonna pick a Fighter, and we become a Brute. And for the subclass, we're gonna get a Devoted subclass, and we're gonna learn the Greatsword, and we're gonna convert our hits to crits with Orlan. And also we're gonna receive an extra critical hit damage with a chosen weapon. So this is a crit build, melee crit build. For the Fighter ability, we're gonna take a knockdown. Now, as far as attributes go, of course, we're gonna need Might. We'll need a bit of Constitution, we'll need a bit of Dexterity, we're gonna sacrifice a bit of Intellect, and we're gonna put up some Resolve. The bottom line is, we go with 16, 15, 13, 13, 8, and 12, and we move on. For the culture, we're gonna take a bit of Perception, so we have more accuracy. For the background, we're going with Mystique. There is a reason why later on. For the weapon of choice, we only need a Greatsword, and we're good to go. We don't have any other weapon proficiencies on this subclass of a fighter. Or better to say, Devoted can only pick one weapon from start to finish. Do whatever you like with your character, and let's begin with classic leveling. So, how do we level up the Brute? Orlan Brute. Very simple. We're taking Athletics, we max out Athletics, and here we're gonna max out Religion, and that's it until the very end. Athletics and Religion. As far as the classic leveling goes, we're gonna pick Blooded first from the Barbarian. Now we say next to level 3, we're picking up Athletics and Religion, we say next. Now we're gonna take extra Stride, so we move faster. Now we say next. To level 4, we pick Athletics, Religion, next. What we're gonna take immediately is a Thick Skin from a Barbarian on level 4 with 1 slash, crush and pierce, armor rating, +1 enemies engaged. So we're picking up Thick Skin. For the Fighter part, we're gonna take Fighter Stances immediately. Now we say next to level 5. Athletics, Religion. Now here on a Barbarian, we're gonna learn a two-handed style, because we're gonna play with a two-handed weapon, yeah. And up we go to level 6. Athletics, Religion, next. And now on level 6, we're going to the Fighter, and we're gonna take Confident Aim to convert grazes to hits, while the race converts his hits to crits. Okay, so everything merges together. We are picking up Confident Aim, and we go to level 7. Athletics, Religion, next. The very first thing we're gonna take from the Barbarian on level 7 would be a Bloody Slaughter. We go to the Fighter, and the very first thing we're gonna learn from the Fighter is, of course, Rapid Recovery. And up we go to level 8. On level 8, we're picking up Athletics into Religion. And now this is very simple. We take 1 Stands Alone for extra melee damage on Barbarian. And we say next to level 9. Athletics, Religion, Next, now we're gonna go to the fighter, and there is hold the line with +1 enemies engaged. This, you should take this one during the campaign. Once you start the late game build and the mega bosses, you don't need hold the line anymore. So have that in mind, you will need to respect this build at least once, because there's a different build for campaign and a different build for the late game. I'm telling you what's for campaign now, it's hold the line, but we're not gonna take that. We're making a mega late game build for mega bosses, okay? And what we're gonna take instead of hold the line is of course determination, because it's great all around defenses. And we say next. To level 10, athletics, religion, next. It is time that we upgrade frenzy, that we're gonna spam use non-stop. And the first upgrade that we're gonna take for frenzy is a spirit frenzy to stagger foes on hit. Now from the fighter, we're still waiting for the tier 5, so we're not taking anything out of its actives. The only thing that you can consider taking is a mule kick, but you won't need it that much. We should focus on a flat crit damage with weapons, weapon specialization. We are proficient at one type of weapon, and that's what we're gonna use. So let's do the weapon specialization. On level 11, athletics, religion, next. Now from the fighter, we took determination, resists to intellect, perception, and constitution affliction attacks. Now from the barbarian, on level 11, we're going to take unflinching, resisted dex, constitution, and might afflictions. So at this point, we are extremely resistant to everything that exists in a game, which is very good, yeah. Athletics, religion. The time has come on level 12 that we take some actives, and the very first that we're gonna take is a Savage Defiance for the robust buff, where we're gonna take armor rating, constitution, and health restore per second, which will merge with fighters health restore per second, so it's gonna be very good healing over time on our brute, okay? Sustain in this case. Up we go to level 13. So on level 13, athletics, religion. Next, the biggest power spike would be when you reach tier 5, okay? Why? Because now it's time to switch from medium armor to heavy armor. Until this point, you were wearing light armor and medium armor as a brute. Once you reach level 13, you immediately equip heavy armor. It's time, because we're gonna reduce requirements for the heavy armor. So from the barbarian, the very first thing we're gonna learn is convert hits to crits, because it merges with our ace that we're using, yeah. And from the fighter, there is nothing to think about, minus 25% armor recovery penalty on armor grace, and it's finally time that you equip that heavy armor and be fast in it, yeah. After level 14, we're taking athletics, religion, next. Now we're gonna take tough from the barbarian for extra health, and we say next. Athletics, religion, level 15, and now we can take interrupting blows, and we say next. After the next level, athletics, religion, next. Now we're gonna take critical damage with improved critical on level 16, okay? We need those crits, and we say next. And here we're going to take the Conqueror stance for extra accuracy and deflection, okay? It's very important to take the Conqueror stance in this case. And up we go to level 17, athletics, religion, and now it's time for the brute to learn the brute force, okay? It's important you can attack fortitude as a defense instead of flat deflection, so you're always gonna attack a weaker stat with your weapon. And off we go to level 18, athletics, religion, next. Now on a fighter, we're going to take spell resist, flat 10% resistance against spells. And off we go to level 19, the last power spike on a brute, where we immediately gonna learn a spirit tornado. And now, instead of taking in power points, we're not gonna do that, we're gonna take nimble. Nimble is extremely important for the final level, or better to say level 20, when we're gonna upgrade into the lion spirit. Okay, we're gonna take an increased amount of accuracy as well as being nimble. So we're gonna hit more often. Lion Spirit should be the last one that you're gonna learn on level 20, and that's about it. We're good to go. As far as the fighter goes, and one skill point that you gain for the fighter on level 19, all we can do, and the best thing that we can do, is take an upgraded weapon mastery for that extra 5% damage with proficient weapons. Upgrade for the weapon specialization. Yeah, and by that, we're gonna finish our Brute. How do we play Brute? Very simple position. Stand behind the there or so. Then you're gonna whack Spirit Tornado. Then you're gonna whack Savage Defiance. And then you're gonna start hitting enemies with a knockdown. That's about it. Very simple to play, yeah. Also, do not forget to trigger the Conqueror stance for the extra accuracy. Itemization on a Brute. We only gonna speak about weapons for the start. So the thing that we gonna use on this build for the late game, and the best thing, and that's why the religion skill, and that's why the renewal upgrade, and that's why the legendary and the mythic upgrade, okay, and now this thing that you can find in the DLC, the ice DLC, I forgot what was the name. It's southeast part of the world map. You cannot miss it. The only island there is, and you trigger the DLC. That's where the Twin Eels is. Okay, so this is the great sword that we wanna use at the end game. Early game, we're gonna use Whispers of the Endless Spots. Of course, you can find it easily in Neketaka. It only costs like, I think, 3,000 copper to buy. Very easy to acquire, and this is your early game weapon. So I showed you both early game weapon and late game weapon with the Twin Eels. Also, you can consider using Burden, Karaboru, Effort, and Void Wheel. No matter what you take, you're gonna deal extreme amount of damage, but the best option is by far the Twin Eels. Again, this build hits non-stop and it crits like a truck. You're gonna need to buff your Brute with the Priest, with the Druid, and with other characters to be strong. Okay, you want to buff up Might, Constitution, Dexterity, and so on. Now what about itemization here? Okay, everything that I gave on my main Watcher build, or better to say on my Chanter Fighter build, so all of these items, all items that I gave on Adair, and all items I gave on Pallegina are completely valid on the Brute. So I can pass through all of it for the end, so you don't watch the other videos, and decide what you want to equip. Basically what you want is crits, hits, misses into grazes, grazes into hits, hits into crits. Those are the items that you want. You want Flare Up, Fortitude, Reflex, Will for the cape. You can go with health over time on rings, or some flat attribute bonus like Might, Dexterity, Constitution on a belt, of course. Very simple. I'll pass through all items now that you can equip, and we're gonna finish the build. So thanks for watching, and remain for items if you plan to play this build.